Where the f do I put the bald line?
So the first thing you want to look at is the temple area, which is this area right here. You want to establish how you're going to line up the client's temple area. So if you're going to do a mid fade, for example, you're more than likely going to have C area right there, which is called a C cut. If you're having a high fade, then you're more than likely just going to have some strong arches here. And then a low fade, you'd have all of it down to this point. Now for a mid fade, I normally like to set my guideline just above the ear and curve just below the bottom of that C cut so you can keep it dark enough. For a low fade, I'll go all the way to the bottom and then angle it around so you can keep this whole bit here dark. And then for a high fade, where the C cut begins there, that's where you'd set that bald line. So you set it that way and then draw it across. Now when you're setting your guidelines, you need to make sure that you're not just going straight around. So if I was setting a mid fade, for example, and I was to go straight around his head, look where the comb ends up. You need to make sure you drop it slightly to the back. As you can see, there's a slight curvature to the head. You need to follow that when setting your guidelines. And then when you're setting the guideline at the back of the head, you don't want to set it too high because then you run the risk of having too tight of a fade. So when I do my mid fade, I'd probably set it around the middle of the head. Mid fade, middle, makes sense. And then for low, low. For high, I'd probably keep it middle still for high because again, you don't want to run the risk of it going too high. You're aiming to just take off a few of the hairs around the top of the ear, like this. Like that. And then towards the back. See, we're keeping the same distance the whole way. And then towards the back, I'm going to do one in the middle. We're going to have a slight drop to keep the fade consistent. Still got that nice curve following the shape of the head, around to the back.